to go a week on Saturday. So I guess we better get going with the session tonight. So okay, so you'll need all of your usual props tonight. I'm just going to silence everybody because I should have done that already actually. So a couple of cushions or a bolster, a couple of blocks, and or whatever you use instead of blocks, and maybe a blanket as well. Okay, so and I thought I would light the candles just to add a bit of atmosphere for you as well. Okay, so we're going to start in a lovely pose, which is our reclined butterfly or Baddha. And so taking pillows or cushions for your head and shoulders, and then having your blocks just by the sides to catch your knees. You might not need that, but this is restorative tonight, so let's get as cozy as we can. So yeah, we want the cushions, pillows or bolsters just to come just kind of around the upper back and head there. And if you like to have your head tipped back, of course you do that too. And then having these blocks just at the sides of your hips there, and depending on how open you are, you can take them further to the sides, just so that you're not having to work hard to keep those knees lifted, and have a little wriggle around, and then coming into stillness, the heart lifted, the hips open, settling in. And while you do that, I'm just going to do a double check that we're all good on YouTube. Okay, so as you settle in here, before looking to bring any particular awareness to the breath or anywhere else, just checking in with how you're feeling on a physical level, noting what your body might need tonight. We're going to work through the whole body, looking to create release, that lovely letting go, and some space where maybe there's congestion or tightness, in a lovely soothing and calming way. So whatever your needs for release tonight on a physical level, I hope we can address those through the practice. But it can be really helpful to check in with what those needs are as we start, so we know what we're working with. And then also taking a scan of how you're feeling emotionally, with the heart and the hips open here. You may find that some stuff has risen up already, things that maybe haven't had a chance to surface because you've been busy naturally or maybe intentionally. Maybe there's some stuff you're avoiding. And so while you're safe on the mat tonight and being soothed by the props and the energy of this session, maybe you can allow yourself to express some of what might be a little deeper down. Remember, you're safe here. This is your practice, your space. You're in charge. You do what you need to do. And now coming into your breath. And because tonight is all about letting go and soothing, the only thing I invite you to do with the breath tonight is to be aware. Be aware of the quality of your breath, the depth, where you're feeling the breath as we move through the practice, And maybe using your breath as another soothing, calming tool which you can use to further let go. As we look to focus on the breath, it helps to keep us focused on the present moment, perhaps the only place where we really feel any kind of peace. Not ruminating on the past, trying to change what we can't, and not projecting negatively into the future, just being here, right now, in your body, trying to find peace. Let every breath, every moment of this practice offer you a sense of letting go, being soothed and peaceful. Gently prepare you for the next pause. We'll take another 5 breaths here. Taken those 5 breaths, feel free to keep the eyes closed. Remove your blocks from the sides of the hips. Take the hands around the sides of the legs there and give them a little lift up. So use your hands as props just to bring those knees back up. And when you're ready, move over onto one side just enough to be able to remove your bolster, cushions or pillows. And then come onto your back into a mini Shavasana just for a few breaths as you come back and feel more of a connection with the ground. Try to make these transitions as soothing as possible as well. Noticing the change in how your body feels. From having that heart lifted and the hips open, to coming into a more neutral position here to reset, recalibrate. And then we're going to bring the feet together as we move into the next posture, coming into a side bend, bringing the feet together and the arms overhead. And then we're going to walk the hands over to the left side, stretching through the left armpit, and at the same time bringing your feet over to the left side as well. Stretching the whole right side of the body. Only go as far as feels comfortable. Try not to lift up that right arm too much. Keeping that right shoulder nicely relaxed. If you feel like you want a little more here, you can maybe take hold of the right wrist with the left hand and encourage that right arm a little further over, coming into this crescent moon shape or banana asana. And if you feel like you want a little more of an opening to create more release through the right hip, the right leg, then you can lift that right leg up and cross at the ankle there, just providing a bit more of an opening through that right side of the body. And then settle in. Remaining present and consequently soothed as you notice what's going on in your body, where you feel in this posture. And when you breathe, how does that affect your experience of this posture? Maybe feeling a deeper stretch as you fill those lungs with air, and a sense of letting go with every exhalation. I'm going to leave you with this posture and each moment in silence now. Five more breaths here. Slowly and mindfully bringing yourself back to center, noticing how things feel as you come back to center. And when you're ready, moving over to the other side, as we look to bend over to the right side and consequently stretch the left side of the body. Once again, making sure that you keep the shoulders relaxed, but if you do want a bit more of a stretch through that side, then take hold of your left wrist with the right hand and maybe cross that left ankle over the right, and then settle back in. Once you're nice and comfortable, becoming aware of any tension that you might be holding on to unnecessarily, maybe in the face. Let the teeth and the lips gently part so you can breathe more easily. Allow yourself to be soothed. Maximum relaxation. Allow your mind to settle down as you notice where it might go, and without judgment bring it back to that in-breath, bringing relaxation, and exhaling as you let go of any build-up of any kind of tension, physical, emotional or energetic. Be soothed, let go. 5 more breaths here. Slowly, mindfully coming back to center. Take a moment back at center to reset. And then gently rolling over onto your left side. And then we're going to separate the knees. Maybe take a cushion between your knees, and then maybe a cushion or a pillow for your head. As you come onto your side, and maybe rest the hands underneath your head, and we're going to lie here in this really gentle twist. And you might want to take that right knee a little further away, just to get a bit more of an opening through the hip there, but nice and relaxed here. Lie in as if you might when you're in bed. Your pillow underneath, a lovely pillow or cushion between your thighs. And settle in. Be soothed. Your only job to find as much comfort as possible and to notice the effect of each of the positions, as well as the effect of your amazing breath. This awareness keeping you focused on the present moment, and thereby providing even more soothing relaxation for your mind. 5 more breaths on this side. And really gently bringing yourself onto the other side. Come onto your back. Keep hold of the cushion between your thighs. And then coming onto your right side. And settle in on the other side. Like I say, if you want a little bit more here, you can move this top leg so that the knee comes further into the centre line. And settle back in. Some people question why restorative yoga is such a popular way of practicing. Why do we need permission to essentially lie down and be comfortable? I tend to agree, but the fact is that this might be the only time where you consciously give yourself this kind of nourishment. It's different to sleeping. Sleeping is an essential function. This is optional. This is optional. Relaxation, restoration. Giving yourself this might be an even more valuable gift than a dynamic power yoga or even breath work, which is training the mind, the lungs. This is a real luxury. And I have a sneaking suspicion that you know you deserve it. So enjoy every breath. Let's take another 5 here. Very gently, we're going to make our way onto hands and knees. Keep your eyes closed if you wish. I'll be very clear in my instructions. We're going to move into child's pose. So you may want a cushion or a blanket just behind those knees if you're particularly tight in the hips. Maybe even a couple. Go for it. Taking the knees wide and having a cushion, pillow or block at the top of your mat there as you walk the hands down the mat. And we're going to come into child's pose. So you can bring your forehead onto the prop or the ground, or maybe you want to turn your head to one side. I'll tell you when we're halfway. And settle in here into your child's pose. Maybe have a little wriggle of the hips side to side just so that you can settle in a bit deeper. Make it as comfortable as possible. Your back nicely rounded. The often tense space between those shoulder blades loosening off as you breathe into the back of your heart. And let it go. Maybe noticing some tension in the lower back, another common area. Notice the effect of your in-breath, bringing your awareness to those areas of congestion, and enjoy that sense of release as you exhale, maybe moving a little deeper into the pose. Allow yourself to be soothed. No effort required, other than to stay present. Be with your body, noticing any sensations that arise, physical, emotion, mental. Notice them, and then let them go with your exhalation. We're about halfway through this pose now, so if you want to turn your head to the other side, settling in. Taking another 5 breaths here. And when you've taken those 5, gently walking the hands back, removing any props that might have been there behind your knees. And we're going to come up to seated, sitting back on the heels, and bring the knees together. So we're going to do something slightly different now. We're going to do a little bit of ankle care. So, options here. You can take your hands behind you and pressing into the tops of the feet, just lift up the knees so that you start to feel a stretch through the tops of the ankles and the tops of the feet there. Those of you who feel comfortable enough, you might want to take the hands onto the knees and sit back here. So as you can see, my feet, the tops of my feet are flat on the ground, and I'm sitting back onto the tops of the feet. Just lifting the knees stretches over the tops of the ankles and the tops of the feet. So you can balance yourself here by bringing the fingertips onto the ground, and just lift those knees enough to get the stretch, or if you feel comfortable enough, you can bring the hands onto the knees as you sit back here. So I look like I'm floating a little bit here. Give it a go, you'll see. If you need to adjust, that's fine. Just so that you feel a bit of an opening over the tops of the feet there and over the front of your ankles. Just take in 10 breaths here all together. We've done 5 now. And the best part of this particular way of soothing the ankles and the feet is when we release. It's so nice. Just another couple of breaths here. One more. Slowly bringing the knees back down. I'm going to walk the hands to the top of the mat. And then tuck the toes, nice and slowly. And then pushing back into downward facing dog. Nice and easy. Maybe paddling the heels one at a time as the feet are flexed, enjoying how that feels to have created that sense of release in the ankles, tops of the feet. And we're going to slowly walk to the top of your mat. Just make sure that you've got a couple of blocks ready to catch you for your next pulls. Having the feet at hip width apart. And then we're going to take hold of the forearms or the elbows. Sorry, bear with me guys, my mic's just come off. There we go. So taking hold of the forearms or elbows, and we're going to slowly move from side to side, just easing out the side of the body, bending the knees as much as you need to rest the belly on the thighs. Give the head a little move side to side, saying yes and no. And then you can either keep hold of the forearms or elbows, or if the hands come onto the floor, and you can rest them there. Just allow the ground to hold your hands or your forearms, not pushing down. Feeling that stretch of the spine. It's very soothing to be in this position. Try to make it comfortable. If you feel too much of a stretch, then you can bend those knees a little more. If you need to ease out, straighten up the knees, that's fine. And then come into your breath. Creating an internal release here as the abdominal organs move away from their usual position, helping release any stuck energy from the constant downward pressure. Giving the heart a rest. Not having to work as hard to pump the blood to the head. And allowing that decompression of the spine as we gently invert here. Notice the effect on your physical body as you hang upside down here. Just taking another 5 breaths. full awareness on the body, your emotions, your mind, and be soothed by your breath. Inhaling relaxation, exhaling let go. Just another breath here. And then slowly walking back so that you end up sitting on your blocks as you bend those knees, coming down, coming into this supported squat, and you choose whether you need one block or two. Bringing the arms around the knees, the feet still at hip width distance, so rather than the elbows be inside the knees in your usual yogic squat, we're going to hug the knees with the arms and let the head hang down here. Noticing the effect coming out of your inversion as everything settles back down. Five more breaths here. Let yourself be soothed. This is a comfortable pose. And then from here, lift yourself back up into your forward fold just for a moment, bringing the blocks to the top of your mat, hanging here just for a couple of breaths to transition into the next pose. Bringing your hands onto the mat, right foot to the top of the mat, and step your left foot back, coming onto the left knee and then onto the top of that left foot. Only go as wide as feels comfortable, having your blocks at the top of the mat here and bringing both forearms down onto the block or blocks or cushions or whatever else you're using. And we're going to gently rock onto the outer edge of your right foot, letting that right knee fall out to the side. And just have a little exploration here. Just see what you need to do. And then bring your head down onto the forearms. It may be that you need your blocks on a higher level, depending where you are. So I want you to be able to rest into those blocks and then let your head come onto the hands or forearms. Turning that knee out to the side as you rock onto the outer edge of your right foot. And if you notice that there's a little bit of a rocking motion here, just go with it, that's fine. Feeling perhaps deeper sensations now, going deep into the hips. more of a yin quality to this pose where some discomfort can arise. Also getting an opening for the outer ankles here. These can be areas that tend not to get much of your attention, and even when you try to bring comfort and relaxation there, it can feel uncomfortable. So see if you can use your breath and any adjustment in the pose to create some comfort for this necessary letting go. Just taking another 5 breaths here. Remembering that as we break this pose, try to make the transition part of the experience of enjoying the sensation of letting go. And to do so, bring that knee back in and come onto the top of that right foot. Perhaps move your blocks in front, bringing both hands down, very slowly and gently enjoying the release as you push back into your downward facing dog. Enjoy the easing out through that right hip. Enjoy how the foot feels, the ankle. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the left foot to the top of the mat. Do that in whichever way feels good for you. Dropping the right knee down, only going as far back so that you feel a release. And then bringing your blocks back, whichever height works for you. Coming onto the forearms on top of the blocks. Rocking onto the outer edge of your left foot. Taking that knee out to the side. And you can have a little move side to side. Just find a comfortable spot. Even a spot where maybe you're moving ever so slightly. And settle in here. Checking in with where you might feel the tension, the need for release of what might be stuck. Send your breath there. Use your breath to bring about a deeper sense of relaxation and letting go. Create comfort where there's discomfort. Give yourself this gift. is all part of this experience of letting go. So bring the foot back onto the mat, remove your blocks, bringing the hands down, tuck your back toes and gently push back into downward facing dog, easing out. And then from here, moving into your next pose, which is pigeon pose. So crossing the right shin in front, come down onto the right knee, and once again taking any props that you might need, so cushions, blocks, supporting your right hip here if you need. Make sure that your knee isn't too far out to the side, so a good guide is that the foot that's crossed in front wants to be in line with the opposite hip. So your right foot in line with the left hip. Supporting your right hip with some props. Bringing yourself down. Using your block here to bring the head onto. Crossing the arms. Do whatever you need. Trying, if you can, to avoid twisting round as you bring that right hip onto the floor. Trying to keep the hips nice and square and using whatever props you need to in order to keep that right hip in line with the left. And then settle in. Noticing any differences in the physical sensations of being in this pose. Maybe you've found a new area deep within those hips to send your breath to create that release. Finding some more space. The whole idea of restorative yoga being energizing and rejuvenating is that it taps into the idea of not doing, of adding further tension into the body through striving, actually creating that space for you to be able to do once again without adding further tiredness, further tension. Helping us tap into the idea that just like everything else in nature, we need rest to balance out the activity, the hard work. Another 5 breaths on this side. As we prepare to shift to the other side, remembering to enjoy the release as you come out of this pose. Moving your props to the other side. You can simply sit back, or you can maybe move back into downward facing dog. Take it nice and slowly. And then it might feel nice for you to lift your right leg. Enjoy how it feels through that right hip. Maybe bend the knee and open the hip out to the side here. Keeping everything nice and gentle before you move yourself over into your half pigeon on the other side, using your props as you need to be supported in this pose. Checking that your left ankle is in, left heel is in line with the right hip. No matter how high your left hip is lifted, use the props to support that left hip, keeping everything square, and recline down. Using your block or cushion to support the head if it doesn't naturally reach the floor, and settle in here. So this pose is one of the most efficient for you if perhaps you struggle to get to sleep. So much tension pools in the hips, and the soothing nature of the forward fold helps you feel safe. Feel safe enough to go to sleep. It's a very soothing pose, and one that I always recommend to people who want to use some gentle yoga to help them with their bedtime routine. Feels great done on the bed, actually. Take another 5 breaths here. Really enjoy how this feels. Slowly preparing to release from this pose. Remove the props. You can simply sit yourselves back, or if you want to go for a bit more release here, pushing back into your downward facing dog, and then lifting up that left leg. Bend the knee, open the hip. Nice. And then from here, coming to seated, and we're going to return to what we did at the beginning for your relaxation, for your final relaxation, I should say. But this time, bringing the cushions or pillows or bolster up to your bum, and then taking some extra props to catch the head. So just lifting the heart up a little higher this time. It's kind of creating a ramp here. And this time keeping the legs nice and straight. And we're going to recline back over your cushions, making sure that the head is supported. Stretching the legs down the mat, let the feet flop out to the side. Arms reaching down the body so the chest is nice and open, or it might feel nice for you here to bring your hands and give yourself a bit of a hug. Bring your hands onto the chest, and give yourself a bit of a hug. So you choose what feels right for you, and if you prefer to be fully reclined on the floor, do that too. Get yourself nice and comfortable. Bringing a blanket over you if you wish. This is the final position of the class. Making sure that your heart is nice and open. And that you're as comfortable as you can be. Maybe give your head a little rock side to side. Clenching of the fists and release. Maybe a couple of times there, just to allow a bit of a release through the hands. Maybe squeezing the toes and let them go. Anything you can do to be more comfortable here, do that now. While you continue to relax deeper and deeper, I'm going to guide you through a meditation before giving you some more time at the end to luxuriate in all of this lovely work you've done. So this meditation is to bring about peace, tranquility, and healing. I've been working on this for an hour now, so let's take it even further. How relaxed can you be? Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel the breath as it enters with a cool feeling. Notice how it becomes warmer as it gently travels down into the lungs. Feel your lungs full with that life-giving prana, bringing vitality and energy, the life force. And as you exhale, feel the body releasing toxins, stress, and any negativity that may have accumulated. Stay with this breath, focusing on feeling deep peace for 10 inhalations and exhalations. I'll keep count, you just feel deep peace. Only the breath and your deep peace. feel the energy that's in your body. Become aware of the warmth and tingling of every cell. Now feel the energy that's in the extended environment, going outside of your room, to the trees, the rivers, the sky, this energy in every part of nature and in every living thing. Bring all of those energies together and feel them as one. Visualize all of that energy shining brightly as the sun. Bring the shining glow of bright energy over the crown of your head. Feel this combined energy start to travel down into your body from the top of your head, slowly going down into your face and neck, traveling down into the shoulders, all the way down into the arms, down to the fingers. Feel this beautiful healing energy and light going down into your chest, all the way down into your hips. Feel it continue traveling down your legs, all the way down to your toes. Your whole body now filled with these combined energies, visualized as healing light. Allow that healing energy to completely fill any physical area that needs healing energy. Feel that healing energy warming, healing, and expanding through the area. Also allow this healing light to bring peace and healing to any emotional issues or trauma. And now bring your awareness to any intentions or desires that you may have. Anything at all. Hold the thoughts of those intentions or desires as you allow this same healing energy to bring your deepest desires to life and your intentions into reality. Feel your connection to this divine energy and light, and know that all is one. All is connected. Stay with this deep, relaxing, peaceful feeling of bliss. It's almost time to come back now. For those of you who would like to stay here for longer, simply stay in your own world and allow the sound of my voice to drift away. And for those who are ready to come back, keep this healing energy with you. It will stay for as long as it's needed, even without you having the intention. Bring yourself back into the room that you're in, noticing the four walls, the ceiling and the floor. See your body lying heavy, relaxed. Cleansed and ready for all of those intentions and desires to come to the fore when it's the right time. Slip back into your physical body, going via the clothes and the props around you. Become aware of your breath once again. Taking a deep breath into your heart. Follow that breath as it moves through your whole body. Enjoy how that feels, that loving energy travelling from your heart like a warm glow. Starting to move the fingers and toes. Maybe give your head a little rock side to side. Bend in the knees. And as you press the feet into the ground, just bring yourself off the props onto one side, whichever feels good for you. Taking a moment while you lie there, just to make sure you're fully awake, albeit relaxed. Making sure that you're back with us. And when you're ready, press yourself up to seated. Keeping the neck nice and soft. Take your time. Keeping the eyes closed, bring your hands together in prayer position in front of your heart. Take a nice breath in. And as you exhale, express gratitude for yourself, for knowing that you need to care about you, that you matter, and that you're willing to give yourself the gift of rest and attention. Knowing that you matter is a superpower, as is your breath, as is yoga and meditation. And you deserve recognition for knowing this. And so to keep that theme of unification going, and to remind us that we're all in this together, doing our best, let's all take a final breath of the practice together to unite us. Inhaling. And exhale, gently blinking your eyes open. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me tonight. You did amazing. Namaste.